Hello, Facebook Live, and anybody else that's watching on a replay or on my blog or my podcast or on YouTube. I repurpose this content and put it all over the place so people can glean the genius from my daily observations on things going on in life and almost all the time how they pertain to you as a small business owner. So just settling in today to watch it's a beautiful, spectacular day again, by the way, here in paradise. And settling in to watch the final round of the Masters golf tournament. Now, this is like the biggest golf tournament in the world for people who aren't golf fans. But if you are watching this, and even if you're not, if you're watching it, here's what to look for. And if you're not, I'm pretty sure you can follow along with this concept, okay? These golfers treat the game of golf completely differently than I do. Okay. In fact, I just called it the game of golf. And these golfers you're going to watch today or not watch, or the pro golfers, whether you watch them or not, it's not a game. It's a business. So I love to play golf. My beautiful wife, Michelle, and I, whenever we travel or I'm speaking somewhere or attending a conference or whatever, we like to book an extra few days before or after and make sure there's golf courses around. And we used to track our clubs all over the place, but then it became ridiculous to like extra $100 each way to be like checking clubs, and we're like, you can just rent clubs. And of course, when you rent clubs, you get the state-of-the-art best golf clubs they got, which is certainly not the golf clubs I use, because again, I do not treat golf like a business. I treat it like a fluff game. Once in a while, get out there, have some fun, and obviously my scores, if I ever kept score, would show it. I don't keep score as an aggregate on the whole of the round. It exasperates people that ask me and go, hey, how'd you do? I did fantastic. Well, what do you mean? What score? Oh, no, I don't keep score, but I did fantastic. Like, what's your hobby? Oh, you like going to the movies? What'd you see? I saw the Tom Cruise, whatever. How'd you do? I did great. I sat in the seat and enjoyed the movie. Like, what score did you get watching the movie? Like, see, I don't keep score of my hobbies. My hobbies are my hobbies. And again, that's the point. These golfers not only keep score of every single hole, of course, they got to keep the number, but they're also keeping the number of chips and the number of putts. And if you watch this thing, you'll hear the announcers talking about all kinds of crazy statistics and key performance indicators, KPIs, we call them in the marketing world, that they're looking at way beyond just the number at the end of the round or the tournament or the hole or whatever. They're like, oh, he shot 52% of the whatever greens in regulation, or he, sand saves 72%, or he only two putted on a whatever, or this number of putts, or this number of what, his average driving distance is whatever. Oh, he's 14 below par on the par threes, and he's got, this on day two. But 3 years ago on day three, he got a two on that hole, or whatever. I mean, everything is tracked, everything is measured, because this is a business to these guys. Now, it goes way beyond that. And this I speak about a lot here because I talk to a lot of small business owners. I'll talk to you if you send me a private Facebook message. You can send me an email, steve@stevesipress.com. You can tweet me at Steve Sipress. You can, whatever way you want to try and get a hold of me, and I will give you, if you haven't got one before, I'll give you one of my $10,000 marketing turnaround consultations, where I guarantee to find you at least, and usually a lot more than $10,000 on a single short phone call that you can put in your pocket running your business. And so I have these calls, and I have run events, hundreds of events for thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs. I've consulted with thousands of them over the years, and it's a common theme among entrepreneurs, even successful ones. Let's say you have 15, 20 employees and you got a successful $5, $10 million business. You still have this belief that you're trying to do way too much stuff on your own. And that's how I play golf. Maybe that's how you do, or how you do any hobby you have, because that's it. That's a hobby. You're running your business like a hobby, like a game, if you're trying to do it all yourself. When I go play golf, I don't take a lesson. In fact, I don't even go to the driving range. Okay, I don't go to the driving range before I hit the course. Now, a lot of times you're playing a course, any kind of decent course, and the driving range is free. Hey, there's balls out there, and go out and hit a few, and there's a practice putting green right there, of course. You can just putt a few putts for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, so you can figure out, warm up and figure out how the slope and the grass, or I don't even know, because I don't do it. Okay, I do it when I play in one of these charity tournaments. Notice I said charity because nobody wouldn't even think of playing in some kind of tournament that mattered at all. And the only thing I don't like about the tournaments is, of course, now they keep score, but I'm like, I'm not keeping my own score. You keep it if you want. But most of these charity tournaments, anyway, it's like whoever gets the furthest shot, that's the one they hit from. So they don't really take individual scores. So it's all cool. We just have fun. But that's when I warm up or practice or whatever, because you show up, you got to check in, and you got to get your raffle tickets and donate to this and get in for the silent raffles and do all your donations and charity stuff. And they put everyone together, and it's like an hour before you get started. So that's when I go. But when I'm just playing golf on my own, I mean, a lot of times I'll just finish my client calls for the day or whatever I'm doing. I'll look at my beautiful wife, Michelle, and say, well, this happened a lot more back in Chicago because it was rare that it was a beautiful day. We only had a few months the year possible. And I would, go downstairs or call to her or look at her and just go, honey, it's a beautiful day. You want to go play around the golf? Let's go. And we would just go and play and show up. And is any, can we go? We like to play. We had in Chicago, within 5 minutes of our house, we actually had what was called on one of the sites a hidden gem. In other words, nobody knew about this thing, but they had like put a lot of money into it and redone the whole course like a couple of years before, and all the online reviews prior to that were scathing reviews of how terrible disrepair and don't come here and they don't care and the course is terrible. And then they put all this money in, and they failed to call me or anyone else that has even 1/10 the clue I have, so they would know something about marketing, and market this. So they remained a hidden gem. We'll talk about that on another Facebook Live video. I once, did business when I was with the Yellow Pages marketing consultant, and I had a restaurant client who was so proud of his review that similar thing. It said, "Oh, this is the best kept secret in the North Shore of Chicago." I'm like, he's like, and he put it on the wall. He was all proud of it. I'm like, that's great. You're broadcasting how great you are at the doing of the restaurant, how good the food is, but you're also broadcasting how terrible you are as a marketer. Like, if you are out there and anyone ever says that about you, you're a hidden gem, or you're the best kept secret, or gee, or if you say it to yourself, boy, if more people just knew about me, I do much better service than that guy across town. I mean, every small business owner I met with pretty much always says that. Hey, that guy with the big full page ads and the big billboard and the TV commercials, that's crappy work. I always get called in to fix his stuff or whatever. Like, if only anybody knew about. Yeah, in other words, you're a terrible marketer. So here's the thing. That's okay. You're running the business. You're not necessarily, no, what are you going to take? You can take years, and you could pay someone like me a lot of money for me to teach you all about marketing, but why don't you just pick up the phone and get somebody who knows what they're doing to do stuff? And I don't just mean place a Yellow Page ad or place a billboard. You got to know what the heck to say on that thing. It's not just the ad or the billboard or the pay-per-click or the website. It's what do you say? What persuasive words do you use? Anyway, so bottom line, most business owners starting out, understandably, they do everything on their own, but as they're growing, it reaches a point where you got to start delegating, but even still, it's so hard. I know, I've started many businesses, and I've helped run many businesses. It's very hard to let go of some of that control, especially if you built it yourself, to finally reach the point where we're starting to hand it over, and then quality can go down a little bit, because, man, they don't do it as good as you and as well. They don't care about it as well. I understand, but you could train them, you could work with them, you can hire somebody really good at stuff, and even if it falls off a little bit, you could grow the business and do a lot better work. Okay, I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg, when he was programming Facebook, thought it was great, but now he has lots of geniuses all doing the programming. It's even better. So you got to get rid of some of that control. And I'm not talking about you're going to have a $50 bazillion company, whatever he has. Getting back to the golf, okay, here's what to look for, because I had it on yesterday in the background while I'm doing some work, and I piped up. I mean, watching the golf, that's kind of tough to do, although the TV, they're really good at putting golf on TV, because the old line about, whoa, what's more boring than playing golf? Watching golf. It's boring. You just watch guys. Well, you don't watch bunch of guys. It's not golf. You don't watch guys walking around the course, okay? If you watched me playing golf, you would watch about, which everybody is, about 4 hours of walking around or driving in a cart, and about, I don't know, if you added it all up, maybe a total of 5 minutes of actually swinging the club. So there's like 5 minutes of maybe action, and the rest is, like, which I enjoy, though, walking around in nature and hanging around with my beautiful wife, Michelle, or associates or friends or whatever. I enjoy it. So it's a nice way to spend the day, and why ruin that by keeping score, especially if you're me. So that's totally not how a pro golfer the pro TV shows golf. It's just one shot after another, shot after another. But still, if you don't really care about these guys or know what every 4-iron to here or this, that, or whatever, but I do pipe up, first of all, when the crowd yells, and then I just use my little remote control thing and I put it back, goes back like 10 seconds or whatever, and I can watch that shot. Very cool. But I pipe up and I pay attention when there's interviews going on, because now I want to hear what these business owners are saying. Make no mistake. Professional golfers are business owners. That's how they treat it, and that's how you ought to treat your business. They're not just out for a Sunday stroll today for a round of golf. Of course, we know they're playing for millions of dollars, but it's a lot more than that. Okay, I have played with some, in fact, I was a business partner of a former pro golfer about 20 years ago. And he was in his 40s at that point. He had won a couple of regional tournaments, and he had given up on making the tour, but his goal was to make the senior tour when he turned 50. And he had like 6 years to do it, whatever. And lo and behold, he never did that, which would have been so cool to go like, hey, John, there he is, I know him. And I played with him, and like, oh, what he could do with a golf club, he would just on purpose say, I'm going to hit this one way to the left and make it bend over to the right and get on the green. On the next hole, he'd say, I'm going to hit this one way to the right, make it go to the left. I'm going to hit this one low. I'm going to do that. It was just crazy. He could do anything he wanted pretty much on the course, and that's the point. I have been a business partner of a pro golfer. Right now, our personal banker at our bank is a younger kid who is won an amateur tournament, a regional something, and his goal is still to, I think he's kind of giving up on making the pro tour, but he played really well in college when he's a real serious golfer. So I've played with these serious golfers. But even the serious golfer, when you play, they're really, really good, and they drive the ball like 7,000 bazillion miles, and they putt incredibly well. I'm like, and they make it all, they swing like they're not even swinging. It's so easy, and the ball goes flying, and they score a 70 whatever, and they're unbelievable. And yet they will tell you, they tell me, that there's almost no difference in the striking of the ball and the putting skill. I mean, you can, on almost any golf club in the country, you can find someone who's excellent at putting, likely better than some of the pros. Like the physical skills are all the same. He's like, it's all up here though. These guys you see on TV can somehow make that putt from 20 feet when there's 1,000 people watching in person, there's $1 million on the line, there's 20 million people watching on TV. He's got all his sponsorships, he's got all his endorsements, he's got all his team behind him counting on him. He's got his financial advisors and his, the people that get him the sponsorships, and then he's figuring out, I watched the guy, and I know that he used to have a Mercedes thing on his shirt. I just remembered, because he's been playing forever, since I was like a kid. My dad liked him, and so he had a Mercedes, and now he had some other thing on his shirt yesterday I saw. So there, I thought right away, man, they're always thinking and they're renegotiating, and they're always testing out new clubs. They, unlike me, who I go right to the course and I get right on the course and I play, and I laugh about it, and I'm like proud of how inept I am at this thing and how much I don't treat it like business. So I announced to whoever I'm playing with, I'm like, by the way, working in my office here with the doors wide open is pretty much like working outside. So yeah, the flies and the bees come in once in a while, and it's kind of cool. It's like I'm working outside. Anyway, so I'm very proud to announce, like, I don't take any warm-ups, I don't take any lessons, I don't try the newest clubs or the balls or practice or warm-up or do the right stretching, or I don't have a nutrition coach, I don't have a swing coach, I don't have a stretching coach, I don't have a workout coach, I don't have a long shot coach, a short game coach, a putting coach, a mindset coach. I mean, this is what a professional player has. And then most of all, number one, what you can see today on the course is they are walking around with a personal consultant. It's called a caddy. And you can't imagine seeing a pro golfer walking around without a caddy. Now, they will rarely show this. Like I said, they're showing shot after shot after shot. They're not showing a lot of walking around. But if you watch this today, or any day you watch golf, pay attention in the last like half hour, hour or so. Basically, almost everyone is off the course, and there's only like 2 or 3 teams, groups left of players. They're not teams, they're certainly individual playing for themselves. There's 2 or 3 or 4 groups left, and so they have to show a lot of walking now. There isn't a lot of shots going on. There's like only 10 guys left on the course. So now they're showing the drama of, oh, watch him walk up to the green. I wonder what he's thinking. They got to fill in this, why they're showing all this walking now. But now you will see him consulting with the caddy. Or when there's a difficult shot, he's behind the trees, or he's he's off the course somewhere where he's got the caddy's like, oh yeah, I think it's this, or when it's really windy, or when there's the caddy is not only, again, tracking the shots and tracking the number of putts and the rubber, but he's got a book in his pocket that's not just, if I kept score, I would carry around what's called a scorecard, one piece of paper where you write one number on for each hole. This guy's got like a book for that one course where he's like, oh yeah, no, this, this shot is uphill a little bit here, and then there's tree over there, and there's water at 220, and then the green is 240, but to go over the green is 257, but there's a hill in the middle of the green at 253, and then it slopes down to the left, so you want to hit this 253 yards and 18.6 yards to the right of the flag. Like, don't think the golfer is going to know all that stuff on his own. He's busy. His job is to hit the ball and to be great at that. And the caddy, don't think he could hit that shot. That's not his job, is to be really good at hitting the golf ball. So this is a great team, and it's necessary. The pro golfer knows he needs that guy to know all that stuff, to consult on all these shots. In fact, an interview I saw yesterday, again, I pipe up on the interviews, and they were talking about this missed putt that this golfer had. I don't remember who or what it was, a course or what hole, but he had missed a putt by a few feet or something. No, a few inches, a few feet. That's me. He missed a putt by like a few inches. And they were like, oh, you missed that putt, seemed to misread it. And his response was, yeah, we misread that. We was the first word out of his mouth. He was like, we didn't get that right. And my first thought was like, dude, you're not on a football team or a baseball team or a basketball team. It's an individual sports golf. So why the word we? Who misread all this? Was it, it was his caddy, because that's the caddy's job. The caddy, if you saw them again, and you might see it towards the end when there's nothing else to show, but these guys walk around the green and they do this and they bend over and they, it's like 2 minutes before they even hit a golf shot. When I'm playing golf and a guy ahead of me is doing that stuff, oh, it drives me crazy. I don't even take practice swings. I'm like, let's play. But I watch this guy like taking 4 practice swings and then he still hits in the woods. Or he walks around his ball and he pot. I'm like, what are you, a pro? Is this for $1 million? Will you just pot the ball? But the pros don't. They walk around and they're looking at this caddy, and the caddy's like, yeah, bro. And then they'll tell you things. They will tell you things like, late in the day, this is crazy. Late in the day, but if you know a pro golfer, or if you're a real good golfer, you know this. But if you're not, you'll think this is crazy. Like when I first was told it by a really good golfer. Late in the day, when it's now been longer since the grass was cut on the green and the sun has been out, that grass has grown a little bit, and the putt is a little bit slower than it was earlier or yesterday when you played earlier or something. Like, that's how incredibly detailed they are. And the caddy is sitting there going, oh, the wind has been blowing. I think the grass on the grass of the green, which is this high, oh, I think it's blowing this way. So when he says, yeah, we were off a little bit, we misjudged, we thought that wind would affect it. Well, we. So now in your business, when you make your decisions, and I specialize in marketing, so let's stick to that. When you make your decisions, the rep comes in and he says, oh, Clipper coupon. Oh, Yellow Page. Oh, I can get you on the first page of Google. I can put up a website for you. Like, now, who do you consult with? Who do you have to say we, or putting out emails, or writing a newsletter, or writing any kind of copy? Who's we that wrote that copy? Who's we that decided, should you send 3 emails or 8 emails? Should you send them on day 1, 3, 4, or day 1, 2, 3, 4? Should you send a postcard on day 3 and then an email, or an email and then a phone call? What should you say? What should the phone script be? What indicators should you have? How long does somebody stay on your website? How many pages do they go to on the website? If there's a video on there, do they stay to the end of the video? Who stays to the end? Do the more people that stay to the end buy? Or are there a certain point where they cut off? I mean, all this tracking and all this knowledge, it's not something you are qualified to know or should have any business doing, but you ought to have you got to have a consultant. Otherwise, you're running your business like I play golf, like a hobby. And that's a crazy way to run a business. I know it's still cool. You're your own boss. Nobody tells you what to do and all that kind of stuff, but I can tell you from experience, you're going to have a lot more freedom and a lot more fun if you actually build a business with systems in place, with support, with the right consultants in all different areas of the business, so it's running like a machine, so you can take time off and not worry that the business is going to collapse, or be checking in every 2 hours while you're out away on vacation or wherever, or over the weekend. Oh, is something wrong? Is something wrong? Like, yeah, nothing. I got my business running. In fact, got multiple locations. In fact, I'm having a dream life here. What's more of an American dream than running one business is getting a second, a third, a fourth location. So you can't do that. You just can't. I've never met anybody who's done that, just like you're never going to see a pro golfer walking around without a caddy or standing on the practice range without his swing coach right next to him. Like, that's just the way it's done, folks. So if you're watching the golf tournament today, have your fun, root for whoever you're rooting for, watch how the shots, they're incredible from like hundreds of yards away and they're like 2 inches from the hole, or they're sinking a putt from like further than I could even hit a wedge. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But also pay attention to the fact that these guys are not playing golf the way you or I might play golf. They are running a business. And when you run a real business, when you really have some self-respect, you will treat your business the same way. You will get a consultant, specialist. Don't call me for operations consulting. You'll call an operations consultant who will tell you you ought to have this desk over here and do that, and your person answering the phones ought to be facing this with it. Get an operations, a layout person. You want a marketing consultant. Get a marketing consultant. That's where all the money comes in. Get the best you can find who will give you the best advice you can. Don't play your business like I play golf like it's some game just to get out there and play once in a while. There are games for that. Go play golf. Go play cards. Go watch a movie. Go do something for a hobby. Run your business like a business, for crying out loud. That's it. Enjoy the golf. Oh, I did promise yesterday that I was going to open up this fantastically cool sounding and looking package that I got yesterday, but then I just had to talk about this golf, which is going on today. So in case you watch this live or real quickly seeing the replay, you can watch for this in today's tournament. If not, they got these golf tournaments on like every Sunday, or if you watch, there's like a cable golf channel, they're on like all the time or something. Like, watch for the partnership between the golfer and the caddy. That's you as a business owner and your consultants helping you run your business like a business. And I will open this live on my daily Facebook Live video and talk about it tomorrow. And I will see you then. Thanks for being here today.